Alright, in this video, we're going to walk through how to create an input that accepts multiple emails as parameters, and how we can make that dynamic and give user a great user experience. So our end result should look something like this, where you can insert multiple emails. These will be email addresses, and they'll show up as tags within this block. You can delete them from the array, or you can try to send them as emails. All right, so I'm just going to walk you through the code briefly and explain how it works. But I'm going to go quick, so feel free at any point to stop the video, pause, and copy the code into your own project. To start off, we'll go through the HTML. It's a simple structure with just the head and body sections and links to our CSS and JavaScript files. We have two divs up here for our success and error messages. And the main portion of our code is contained within this container. What we're going to be doing is in JavaScript, we're going to be dynamically creating these div tags, which represent the structure and the text within the structure. So this whole box right here, we're going to be dynamically creating for each one. And then we also have a button, send, with an on-click event to send our emails. The CSS for this is fairly straightforward, and you can feel free to customize it, of course, to meet your color scheme or your layout needs. So I'm just going to go through it briefly, but again, feel free to stop and pause it at any point to copy and have a reference for it. I just use this blue color for everything. I use some hover events. When you hover on the tag, it highlights the background blue, and when you hover on the X, it shows up as red with a cursor pointer. I use border radiuses to give everything a more rounded look. And our success and error messages are highlighted as such with the display set as none, which in the JavaScript code, when the certain conditions are met, we'll just set display equal to true so that you can see those messages. The index.js is where most of the work is happening. We start up here at the top, getting our tag container and input elements using our getElementById functions. We're going to need these so we can manipulate them and append elements to them. We're also going to start off with this tags array as an empty array. This represents the different emails that we add. The code will start being executed with this input.addEventListener keyUp function. So anytime you push a key in this input field, it will activate this on keyUp function. And when this key equals enter, it will run our code. So what it will do, it will push the value that we've typed in into our tags array. And then we'll call our add tags function and reset our input value back to blank so we can enter another email. Our add tags function first goes and resets our tags array. And then it goes through each of our tags and creates this element. Again, I'm going through this quick, so if you need, you can copy these functions into your own code. Our create tag, we're going to use the document.createElement function to create these different elements. We're going to create a div, a span, and an icon. The div is this box, the span is the text, and the icon is this X. We're going to set their class attributes dynamically, and here we set the inner HTML of the span to whatever we type, and we set the inner HTML of our close button to this little X. And of course you could use an icon for that, but I'm just using the letter X. Then we append those together and return it as a div. This div then gets added and appended to our tag container like this, and that gives us the adding functionality so that we can add multiple elements. And they look nice and display dynamically. The last functionality is this ability to delete elements from our array. To do this, we're adding the document.addEventListener click function. So anytime we click anywhere on the document, this gets run. And if it so happens that we click on this icon, which the tag name is I, then we're going to get the attribute of it, which we set up here in the create tag. We set attribute to the label so we can access it. We're going to get the index of that so we know where it is in the array. And then using the slice method, we will delete it from the array and go back and rerun our add tags method. So when we do that, you can see we can delete an element from any spot in the array and it updates dynamically. It's very smooth. Okay, that's all it is to get that functionality. Now, if you want to send emails, I've outlined a very basic flow to this that, of course, you can feel free to improve upon and make more responsive. But essentially, our button has the on-click event send. So when we click our button, what it's going to do is we start off with this variable valid as true. If the length of our tags is less than 1, so there's nothing in our array, we want that to return as false, which is an invalid email. If there is stuff in our array, then we want to loop through each of those using a for each function and then call our validate email function right here. We're just going to use a regex expression, which there are a ton of these available on the internet for validating emails, and I'll leave it up to you which one you decide to use, as they vary in complexity and what values they allow and don't allow. We're going to test whether our email matches this, and if it does, it returns true. If not, it returns false. If our validate email comes back false, which we can check with this exclamation point, which is a not, then we'll set valid to false. Anytime valid is false, we display our error message using this document.getElementById error.style.display equals blah. That will make it visible. However, if it is true, all of our emails are valid, then we'll go through and we'll send emails. Our send email function I haven't built out the rest of the way yet, but essentially what you want to do is you'd want to use a for each function for each element in the tag array. You're going to send the email. And when all those are sent, you're going to display a success message. Our success message right now looks like this. If I put test@test.com, that's a valid email. Send email sent successfully. So hopefully this gives you a good starting place where you can build an input that accepts multiple emails as parameters, validates them, and sends them. Hope this video is helpful. If it is, give it a like and feel free to subscribe. Thanks.